GM crypto news now. Here it is March 18th, and before I get into this video, please read the description below on the take of the show and the tokens. So let's look at the price action of the majors. Bitcoin, it is having this bearish move, honestly, still. And as I was drawing these paths earlier for where we're gonna do, and the red path previously had a green one that I just deleted where we could go higher instead, but it seems that the attempt to break 85k failed yesterday, and now we are going with the bearish path with the red one, or we can go with this white one with the FOMC meeting, assuming there's some front running of that, and then it goes down afterwards. I think whatever happens, if we do go up or down, it's eventually going to end up down, but we'll see what happens. And liquidation heat map wise, it is supporting 80k to be a level where they want to sweep liquidity out, and 80k seems to be a pretty decent support. It is within this zone of support, I suppose. 80k to 78k, we have to see the demand in there, and if this level doesn't hold here, then 73k most likely is going to be the next stop. But we're gonna have to see what happens. Immediately 80k, 70k seems to be the next level for Bitcoin, and of course when that happens, everything is going to go down as well, even Ethereum and even Solana. I mean, it's not really a good sign to see Ethereum being stronger than Solana. I'm just going to say that every time that's happened and Ethereum is going up only while Bitcoin is going a little bit choppy upwards, it usually ends with something pretty ugly. So Ethereum might get cooked here. We'll have to see what happens. And yeah, that is pretty much the case here. I think that the bearish move is going to be the next move for Bitcoin, and it's very possible we'll see 70k somehow soon. I don't know if it'll happen immediately. We'll have to see how it reacts to 70-80k, but yeah, it doesn't really look too hot right now is what I'm gonna have to say here. But I could be wrong and it just goes higher. Maybe some crazy ass news happens, but we'll have to see what happens. But looking at the tweets here, like, oh yeah, deck screamer wise, the altcoins, meme coins, nothing really too exciting. And I think one of the bigger pullbacks are base AI tokens. Those have pulled back pretty hard today because it might be that people are de-risking before the event and the market might be digesting that move before it goes lower. So there might not be as much of a sell-off on alts, but we'll have to see and just observe. So let's look at this. Justin, President Trump's executive director, says we want as much Bitcoin as we can get. So this news came out and Donald Trump keeps saying he wants to get Bitcoin and all this. And this is extremely bullish for Bitcoin, right? It just happened 5 hours ago. And yet Bitcoin barely fucking moved. Okay, when was it released? Around here-ish. It barely moved. And this is extremely bullish news, but wow, this is just, it's not good that the price is not reacting as strongly to extremely good news like this. This usually a bearish catalyst. So basically, the whole group chat is depressed. Most of us made it, but we spent countless hours on sitting on Discord without any real interaction with the outside world. For a lot of people in the group, there's nothing else going on in their lives. They just gamble or play games. No socializing, no goals. Most of them spent every hour in crypto. Most of us were somewhat distracted by now that the market's dead. Everyone's starting to realize how empty life feels without crypto. I'm so grateful. This life is better than still having to work for $10 an hour. So this is a response to this guy's message here. He said, literally every person I know under 25 that's grinded crypto for 2+ years to get to 7 figs is depressed now. So obviously these are exceptions, not the rule. Not everyone is out here being millionaires, but there is actually some cases where people, they were in the pump fund trenches and they hit it pretty big. But the cases of a lot of these people where they do the trenching and then they're ending up rich. And you got to realize from a philosophical standpoint that money isn't going to change the person that you are. It only amplifies your current habits and how you are. So if you were just a degen gambler gamer before you did the crypto stuff and then you found crypto and then you did all the gambling on the meme coins and then somehow you got super fucking rich, well, that's great, right? Now you have all this money. Most likely you don't have to work for the rest of your life. But now your previous habits are going to get amplified. Maybe you're doing CSGO trading skins or whatever the fuck. Maybe you were gaming all day and you weren't doing exercise and you were just having a degen life and you think your life is magically going to become some James Bond level. But no, that's not usually the case. It amplifies your current habits. So when you're doing the money stuff, the crypto, the trading, the meme coins, by the way, it doesn't happen to everyone. You have to work super hard to get that, by the way. Super trenching, super group working hard. It's extreme hard work to do that, and not everyone can do it. But there's also the sustainable routes where you probably learn how to compound your wealth instead and focus on cash flow, all these things to make money. But while you're doing that, you want to be growing other things in your life as well. So maybe your physical fitness, or maybe relationships with families, friends, whatever the fuck, girlfriend, boyfriend, all of these things you do also alongside crypto. It's just not just one thing. and you have to amplify your current habits. So just don't have that crazy expectation is basically what they're saying. And this anecdote here just proves that. Just want to go on a brief rant about that. But nobody niggas on Soul Incinerator. So there is this video here. These guys are collecting the copper out of the wires from the junkyard, and they're talking about Soul Incinerator. So I'm not affiliated by this by any means, but there's essentially this thing here called Soul Incinerator where you can connect your wallet. It's completely safe, by the way. Just make sure you get this link here, and you essentially it closes empty accounts and it gives you some Solana fees back. But if you do it every few weeks and you're pretty active on Solana, then you maybe get like a few bucks every so often. So if you want to do that and you haven't cleaned it, then it might be a good reminder, I guess. But look at this update. 40x short whale has closed his entire 525 million Bitcoin short position. He made nearly $9 million in profits. Absolutely insane. And look at this. The fact that someone can short 500 million Bitcoin and 40x a market and get away with it for multiple days is not very bullish. It's very tilting even. Yeah, so this is also supporting the thesis that perhaps it's most likely going to go a bit lower. We might go a little bit up first before it goes lower, but whatever path happens, I don't know if he's an insider or not, but maybe he's a super trader. We'll have to see. But yeah, this is not a good thing that despite all of this craziness where people are literally trying to hunt this guy and the price couldn't even stop him out is very, very bearish. Honestly, it's a horrible market to trade right now. You've got multiple complicated wars. You got FOMC tomorrow. You still got higher than deal inflation. You got USD strength. You got fear in market sentiment. You've got volatility of the Trump government. Yeah, it is extremely, extremely difficult to trade in this markets right now because of all of the things that he just mentioned here. And for all of this news to happen, and we also have crazy news of Bitcoin strategic reserve, right? Well, there has to be some digesting of this price action and more sideways to go. And Bitcoin is yet to form its bottom yet. We have to see it close above a pretty important level like 90K or so, and it's going to be a rounded bottom, right? It's not going to be V-shaped recovery most likely. So it's still in this bearish downtrend, and until we see a reclaiming of a slight bullish trend, we can't say that the bottom is in yet. And for the people who think that they can just super long here and then they're going to be super rich, well, it's not the time yet, basically. So let's look at this. LMFAO, fuck Solana. So this Solana, guys, they were talking about, we are going to do Black Lives Matter, we stand solidarity, and everyone fighting for justice, all of this crazy stuff. And basically, I'm just explaining this drama. I don't have the media video, but it seems that they released a commercial and then deleted it because they said some things about gender. They're saying we're focused on inventing new blockchain technology instead of inventing new genders, which is a bold take, I suppose. But I guess that they had some backlash and then they put it out. And then now the Twitter community, who is usually on the side that is not politically left-leaning, they saw this and they're like, okay, well, what the fuck are these guys doing? And then they're comparing it to Coinbase and Kraken, and they're like, oh, we don't care about the pronouns or all this shit. Like, I have my own opinions on this too. It's not really in this video that I want to say, but yeah, I think it's a little silly, this whole event here, and I think it's just a bit of an overblowing of these weaponized virtues, and the fact that it gets people into trouble like this is just, it's just stupid. It's just clown behavior. But I don't know. This price action of Solana is not being helped at all. It is probably the weakest alt, and this news about it is definitely not helping the price action, even with it closing below a pretty important support here. Well, yeah, Solana probably hasn't found its bottom just yet. That's just what I want to say here. Markets evolve, so do top signals. Celebrity used to be enough to spot the top. In 2025, it took entire countries and half of Hollywood launching meme coins before the bubble pop. The signals are still there. They just scale up adoption, adjust accordingly. Yeah, this guy's completely right. He gives really good takes, but the thing is that as the top signals, we are expecting them for the markets. Well, most likely the top signals are going to get crazy and crazier as there's more adoption with Bitcoin. So basically, as Bitcoin's price goes higher, there's going to be even more insane, euphoric, manic shit. I don't know what's going to be next. Maybe for the AI agent narrative. AI agent narrative hasn't even been topped remotely yet, but maybe like your mom is knowing about AI agents. I don't know. Maybe your grandma, maybe your dog is an AI agent suddenly, but something like this. Yeah, you got to keep this in mind. The top signals are going to get crazier and crazier as the market goes on, and as Bitcoin finally starts reaching some sort of actual value, which is infinite value. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. But if you look at this, if you ever become disenchanted about crypto, try moving $10,000 from a bank account and be max again. Yeah. So this guy was essentially given to take here. Friendly reminder: the money in your bank account is not your money. So this person basically got their money stolen because of some accidental mistake, and they lost like $8,000 from the government. And the thing is that your money in your bank account is not actually yours. It's essentially the government lending you this money, and you're kind of renting it. You're not really owning the money, even your bank account, which is kind of a crazy thing to say. And people like to say, well, it's FDIC insured and all of this stuff. Well, if you do something the government doesn't like, or they find some crazy reason to take the money from you, they will take it from you. And that's one of the disadvantages about holding fiat in a bank account, right? Well, in comparison, what cryptocurrency is that you control your own wallets and you control your own bank, and you don't have any worry about the government doing anything like this. So if you became super rich all of a sudden, well, most likely you want to take advantage of this decentralized finance aspect, and you won't be suffering like her. I don't know why I said him, but you won't be suffering like her, because you have your own money in your own wallet that you keep somehow secure, instead of getting destroyed by the government. I mean, of course, it's good to have some money in the government, like money banks, because they're more liquid than crypto and it's easier to move it around. But as adoption gets more and more, which I think will be the case into the, I wouldn't say near future, but maybe next couple decades, then yeah, it's probably going to be more advantageous, and people are going to become more awoken to the advantages of that type of wallet. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this video. Pretty brief video, I suppose. And basically the summary is that Bitcoin could go a little bit lower, could go a little higher first to front run FOMC tomorrow, and then it goes lower. But I think that no matter what, I think Bitcoin is just going to follow this bit of a rolling over trend, and it's going to follow something like this, if I were to guess. If I were to essentially aggregate all of the handles like that. But that's my personal take on it. Could be wrong, but it's just that I have a lot of reasonings for why it would go lower. We need for it to go higher. I'm trying to think of reasons for it to go higher. We don't have them, because also, even if it's great news, it doesn't even go higher. Like, that's not good at all. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this video, and I'll see you guys.